Welcome to Enterprise Headless Commerce with OrderCloud and Next.JS. My name is Nick Allen. I'm a Sitecore Technology MVP, and I've been working with Sitecore for around 14 years. Recently, I've had the pleasure of working with my co-presenter, Mihály Árvai, on Sitecore Commerce projects, and I'm looking forward to sharing our findings on Sitecore OrderCloud with you today.
Hi everyone, my name is Mihály Árvai, and I'm a Sitecore Lead Developer at Wunderman Thompson, Budapest, with 10 years experience in Sitecore development. I'm a Sitecore Technology MVP since this year, and as Nick mentioned previously, we managed to work on a couple of e-commerce sites for world-leading brands. So today, we are going to have a comparison between DXP and Composable DXP, and after that, we are going to briefly introduce OrderCloud. And finally, we are going to check out different rendering options and developer experience for this headless solution. When we are talking about platform DXP, we are talking about the classic XM, XP, or XC Sitecore products. These products have a simple architecture, each product has their own feature set, and these are tightly coupled. If you want to use XC, you need to use XP, so you might pay for a feature that you are actually not using at all, and hosting these products is complex. For example, hosting an XC environment in a properly scaled production configuration requires many virtual machines or app services. But these products provide an infinite number of opportunities for customizations. Composable DXP is an API-first solution or architecture. The elements of this DXP cannot be hosted on on-premise, but they are already hosted on the cloud, so they are ready to use standalone products. This means if you want to host an e-commerce solution, you don't need to pay for a complete content management solution if you don't plan to use it. Since these products are hosted in the cloud and they provide different starter kits, you can go faster to the market. You may have already seen there are many benefits of using DXP. Best-of-breed approach means you can get and utilize the best software or solution for each feature or problem what you have, and you are not tied to a single vendor. You can go faster to a market, and you are free to choose any technology. You may remember from the previous slide, Composable DXP is an API-first architecture, so you can use any technology which can consume REST APIs. Everything is optional. You can use product solutions which you really need and avoid paying for features that you don't need. Many developers use the same product but with different technologies, so the community is really wide and multi-layered. So why OrderCloud? It's an API-first headless solution, and initially it was built for B2B use cases. Basically, you can use any front-end stack with OrderCloud, and it also provides an opportunity for enhancements via different techniques such as hooks or integration events. You can directly use your Sitecore XM. XP or XC is not required at all. OrderCloud provides a starter site called Headstart, so you don't have to start your project from scratch. Besides that, it's stable and performs pretty well under such a big load. Statistics from last year says it had 1.5 million active users and can serve 70,000 requests per second.
OrderCloud is a full SaaS API-first commerce service. The four core tenets of the OrderCloud architecture are infrastructure, commerce features, developer tools, and the customer experience for buyers and sellers. OrderCloud allows us to manage every aspect of our products and catalogs, buyers and sellers, orders, pricing and promotions, and shipping via its RESTful APIs. And we can do this using the OrderCloud Interactive Console, any REST client such as Postman, or of course within our headless applications using the C# or JavaScript SDKs. OrderCloud is designed to scale, with the capability to rapidly deploy new environments to multiple Azure regions around the globe. The B2B first domain model offers many advantages over a traditional B2C model, which tends to focus mainly on catalogs and pricing. Within enterprise B2B scenarios, it's common to have multiple buyers within an organization, and multi-supplier fulfillment is increasingly common with trends such as dropshipping. OrderCloud can support these models, allowing each supplier to manage their own responsibilities within a particular order. This model, of course, does not exclude B2C scenarios, with B2C customers modeled as a distinct buyer account. The B2B first domain model gets us pretty far when it comes to modeling our business domain. However, there are always going to be properties unique to an organization that are not available out of the box. And in a cloud-native SaaS environment, you can't modify the database directly. This is where extensible properties, or XP, come into the picture. Every noun in the model supports XP. XP is simply structured data that can be set against the XP property of any object. If you are familiar with working against a document database, such as MongoDB, Elastic, or Cosmos, this approach will be familiar to you. When it comes to querying custom structured data, there is full support in the APIs and SDKs for performing, faceting, and querying using equals or in logical operators.
You can get started on OrderCloud portal, which is available on the portal.ordercloud.io address. You can register for free and start playing in your sandbox environment for free. After you created your first account, you will see the OrderCloud dashboard, where you can create new marketplaces, previously called organizations, users, but what you probably will love as a developer is the API console. Basically, in the API console, you can run and test every OrderCloud API call. You can run the same API request into a different context or a different user. For example, on the screenshot, you can see an API call which lists categories from a given catalog. For each API endpoint, there are multiple operations such as listing, creating, updating, or deleting. You can create different API clients accessing your marketplace or organization with different permissions. This is important because probably a storefront application will have a different privileges than an administration site.
Part of our responsibility as a technical delivery team is, of course, to build and deploy the headless rendering host that will interact with the OrderCloud APIs to deliver a customer experience, either for the commerce back office or for the buyer experience. For this, we have options, and this is part of the advantage of a headless SaaS solution. The options we will be discussing today are focused on two Next.JS approaches and Headstart. Next.js can be used in combination with Sitecore JavaScript Services, or JSS, or as a standalone Next.js application. And then we have Headstart, which is an Angular-based accelerator provided by OrderCloud. Let's look at these in more detail. Next.js is a framework built on top of React and was born out of the lessons learned by enterprise organizations trying to run statically generated, complex applications following Jamstack principles. Its hybrid rendering models remove some of the no server-side logic limitations of Jamstack, allowing you to get the benefits of static site generation, but also support complex enterprise use cases. And from a developer's perspective, Next.js has awesome features built in, such as hot reload and a simplified implementation, such as less state management, out-of-the-box script bundling, 404 and 500 handling and pages built in, image optimization and TypeScript support, and many more features. Next.js has also proved it can scale to the biggest challenges, delivering sites such as TikTok, Netflix, Coinbase, and Uber. By default, Next.js pre-renders every page. This means that Next generates HTML for each page in advance, instead of having it all done by client-side JavaScript. Pre-rendering can result in better performance and improved SEO. How and when it does this, however, is up to you. And there are two main flavors of pre-rendering: static generation, or SSG, and server-side rendering, or SSR. The difference is when the HTML is generated for a page or individual components. A third option, ISG, or incremental static generation, is possibly the most powerful feature of Next.JS for CMS applications. ISG allows us to periodically, but only on demand, prefetch and regenerate individual static assets, but only if they have changed. In other words, the best of both worlds. This is a huge benefit. We don't have to rebuild our entire static site just because one part of the site has changed. In fact, we don't have to rebuild our sites after the initial build when taking advantage of ISG. Next allows hybrid sites, using static generation for some parts of the site and server-side rendering for others, depending on which rendering mode is more suitable for the business requirements. If you are already using or plan to use JSS in your projects, you'll be pleased to know that Sitecore has JSS components for OrderCloud, which are backed by the OrderCloud JavaScript SDK. This means we can continue to do traditional Sitecore-first full-stack development and accelerate our integrations with OrderCloud within a JSS context. Using Next.js with JSS also means we get all the benefits of Next, including hot reload in all rendering modes, massively accelerating development feedback loops. It's worth noting that incremental static generation requires an available and well-performing content delivery server to make the calls home to check for updated content in the layout service.
Previously, we have already mentioned there is an application provided by Sitecore for getting started, and this is called Headstart. Headstart consists from modern JavaScript applications, and those are written in Angular. They are pre-built and extendable commerce sites or components, and they are ready to use. The Headstart consists from a management or a seller site, which provides functionalities for product, catalog, user, and order management. Also, suppliers can use this interface. Headstart also contains a second Angular application called buyer site. Actually, this is the storefront, which is available for buyer users, where they can search for products, make orders, check out previous orders, manage addresses, and so on. And also it contains a middleware applications written in .NET Core. This demonstrates how to extend and enhance OrderCloud capabilities. It also contains a couple of third-party integrations, such as SendGrid for email sending, EasyPost for shipping estimates. Let's see some screenshots about the seller and buyer sites. This is the seller site. You can manage products here, add new variants, change category assignment, or you can manage suppliers and buyers too. Supplier users use the seller site too, but they have a different privileges than an administrator or a seller user. So they might have different functionalities available. This is the buyer site, and this is a listing page where you can list, filter, search for products. On the detail page, you can see who is the supplier for the given product. You can see pricing and product information. On the cart page, you can still edit your products or purge your cart. The Headstart contains an implemented checkout flow too, so users can select shipping and payment methods. Of course, the customer can check their previous order, and besides checking the current status of the order, they can request refund or they can reorder products from the given order. And there are many other feature functionality implemented in the Headstart solution, so you should check it out.
So let's recap some of our rendering options and touch on some of the pros and cons. The traditional Sitecore route would be JSS with Next.js. Here you get the benefits of a Sitecore-first workflow, OrderCloud JSS components, full CMS support, and less boilerplate code. The potential downside to this is the need to have Sitecore available, which could result in slower project startup time and onboarding, and does require developers to have knowledge of Sitecore. Second, we can run a standalone Next.js application. If you are running a Sitecore XM or XP instance, any integration between the CMS and your application will need to be handled by yourself. There is a Next.js starter app available on GitHub with a full white label buyer experience. I was able to create an OrderCloud account, configure it using the OrderCloud APIs and seed products, clone the GitHub repository, test locally, and deploy to for sale in an hour. Compared to startup times I've experienced in previous commerce projects, this is an order of magnitude quicker. Lastly, we can use Headstart, an Angular-based accelerator that also includes a back-office application. Similar to a standalone Next.JS application, this application would have no knowledge of your Sitecore XM or XP instance, so any integrations, again, would have to be written. Which route you consider depends entirely on the specifics of your project, but I think Next.js with JSS or standalone, in conjunction with OrderCloud, is a super powerful combination for the enterprise and a fantastic developer experience. I've mentioned deploying to Vercel previously in the talk, so let's dive a bit deeper into that. Vercel is a hosting platform for Next.js applications, amongst others, built by the team that created Next. It's super fast to get started with zero configuration. Simply import your repository in GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket and have your site deployed to Vercel's global edge network in minutes. One of the features of Vercel that I absolutely love is preview URLs for your feature branches. Vercel will detect changes to your feature branches and automatically deploy commits to preview URLs that anyone in your team can visit to see your progress. Next.js allows us to create API routes, which when deployed to Vercel are automatically converted into independently scalable serverless functions, a huge benefit when you need to support API callbacks in commerce payment or order fulfillment scenarios for high-traffic websites. This is just scratching the surface, but if you want to get started, you can host for free in Vercel with a personal account linked to a personal GitHub repository. In July this year, Vercel announced an upgrade to their integration marketplace. Vercel have collaborated with their partners, including OrderCloud, to simplify how developers can deploy and configure various applications on Vercel. Earlier in the talk, I mentioned that I was able to create an OrderCloud account, configure it, clone the Next.js starter app, test locally, and deploy to Vercel in an hour, and see my products listed and available to order. With the OrderCloud Vercel integration, 1 hour could realistically be 5 minutes. The integration is currently in development between Vercel and OrderCloud, but you can visit the integration landing page on the Vercel site today and sign up to be notified when it's available. That's all we have time to share with you today, but we hope that we have demonstrated what a powerful partnership OrderCloud and Next.js can be. Whether you're a back-end developer, front-end developer, or full stack, it's easy to get started with OrderCloud and Next.js today. The best way we can recommend you do that is by signing up for a free OrderCloud account and following the Getting Started documentation for developers. Then clone the Next.js starter app on GitHub. You'll be up and running on Vercel in no time. Thank you.